go so quickly here. No, I don't know many people.
I know too many people. I guess we're both lonely.
Milk was a bad choice.
You crying? No. Are you crying? Are you crying? There's no crying. There's no crying in baseball.
It's the Al Travis Show. We love having our legal spiegel on the program. He is John O'Connor. Give you a quick background. He's written some books. We'll talk about that as we go. Experienced trial lawyer, practiced law in San Francisco since 1972. Tried cases state, federal court throughout the country. Served as the assistant U.S. attorney in Northern California from 74 to 79. He, of course, wrote Postgate, how the Washington Post betrayed Deep Throat, and the mysteries of Watergate. John, I love having you on. Very excited to have you tell us what's going on, and we'll talk about the case in a minute. Thanks for being here.
Well, I think that this thing with Tulsi Gabbard's revelation is huge.
I believe it is as well. I saw her press conference because some news organizations cover it. Others, it just seem to gloss over. This is another thing doing the same thing. They're just doing it again. But basically, Tulsi Gabbard is saying that she has found proof that Obama, Brennan, and Comey all knew they were rigging that Russian hoax thing, right? If that busted down in 5 words or less, is in the ballgame?
Yes, and did so through an official intelligence assessment that was shared with the nation and had profound implications, and yet she's found that it was completely falsified by order of President Obama and assisted by Comey and Brennan. So it's extremely huge.
Well, and then, okay, so let's go through. Folks, a lot of folks, I'm telling you, a lot of news organizations did not cover this like it meant anything. Basically, Tulsi Gabbard, through being on the one of the attorney secretaries, she starts delving into stuff, and it seems weird to me, sir. And this is where I want to get rid of conspiracy theories. I'm sure Obama had meetings with a lot of people, Brennan and Comey, but Brennan and Comey seem smart enough not to have emails saying this is what we're going to do. You get what I'm saying? It seems strange because they're lawyers. Well, all three of them are lawyers. They should have known if they were talking about this and writing these things down, it's going to bite you in the butt.
Well, let me sort of argue with you on that. It's been 9 years since it bit them in the butt.
Good point.
And so they did a pretty good job of it. And with the welter of paper around, this stuff gets buried, and it's also classified type stuff. Mm-hmm. And so it's really very, very. It doesn't surprise me at all that it hadn't been discovered. And let me also remind you that this thing that just came out about the FBI having this secret cache of documents that are not even listed anyplace. So if you went looking for something like this, you couldn't find it on their information system, which is a huge system. So it's amazing. And I think, frankly, the only reason Gabbard found this is because I think Trump was probably telling her, I want you to look into this Russiagate stuff, because that still bothers him, and it should, because he was accused of being in a conspiracy with one of our biggest enemies. So so it is a big deal, and I don't think normally it would have ever been discovered. That's what's sort of chilling to me.
Well, I presume if it worked and Hillary became president, then that would have been, there was another 4 years. It would be 13, 14 years past this, right? I mean, that's the thing. If it worked, they could bury this even further. Well, do this for me. You explain to me what it is they found. Because as I understand it, Hillary Clinton is upset because of her whole email scandal. She got rid of 33,000 emails, bit cleaned them or whatever. She was looking to get the news off of her tail. Her and somebody in her group came up with this, the Russian, well, he's for Russia. They buy the dossier. They literally go pay a guy, which they, of course, now this thing's all done. How did Trump, Brennan, and Comey get involved with that? She was the Secretary of State, I suppose. They're meeting all the time. Do we know how that went from Hillary Clinton's brilliant thought that all people do when they're trying to come up with how they're going to win an election to the President of the United States, the FBI and CIA director all saying, no, not a bad call?
Yeah, Hillary, it was really not the 30,000 destroyed emails. What it was there was a exfiltration. There was a security breach in the DNC servers, and Hillary knew that what was coming out right before the convention was that she had committed dirty tricks and had corrupted the DNC in her favor and against Bernie Sanders. So if these documents, which she knew WikiLeaks had, if they came out without any explanation or filter, then she risked losing the Bernie Bros support. And even though she would probably still be nominated, it would create a furor at the convention, and she would lose the base of support and probably lose the election. So the election depended upon her somehow explaining what she knew would be coming out about her dirty tricks. And then, and so basically, they came up with this story, and the CIA found out about it quickly. It was through their intelligence, they found out that this was being planned, this false attribution of a Russian conspiracy as a way of taking attention off this. So what they say is, yes, it was actually an internal leak by one of the staffers, but they said, oh no, this is an external hack by Vladimir Putin because he and Trump are in conspiracy. Now, if you think about that, that overshadows the fact that there are dirty tricks exposed. Now, we have Hillary being the victim of this terrible Trump. We know Trump's terrible, and we know Putin's terrible. You can't get two better villains for Democrats. So the villains are out after us. Let's not worry about this dirty tricks. Let's go. Let's go put up our defense. Yeah, let's do the right thing. So it was a tremendously successful story, and it just worked. And all around through the convention, Jennifer Palmieri, the communications director, Robbie Mook, and Jake Sullivan were riding their golf carts around the convention, telling all the delegates in breathless tones about this recent discovery, if they didn't already know it through publicity. So it worked. And as a matter of fact, and so Comey and Brennan then tried to support Hillary by making it look like the intelligence agencies supported this ridiculous tale. And in fact, they then conjured up a way of starting this Crossfire Hurricane thing, which was just something they made up. Now we have a Crossfire Hurricane investigation into Russian collusion, and the whole Russian collusion starts. So that's at a low boil. Hillary loses. Now, post-election, you can just drop the whole thing, or you can try to give it legs and go after Trump and use this as a way of explaining Trump's victory, this is where we get into Obama now saying, I want an assessment of this election, and no, I don't like the draft that I saw, which was very professional and said there's no reason that Putin that was involved in this and it wasn't a conspiracy. They changed it now to say, they adopted the fact that it was a Russian hack on the DNC, which it wasn't. They did that. And they said that Putin really, really, really wanted Clinton to lose and Trump to win. So that's what they did. And then they kept that up. And it also gave fuel to Comey's ongoing counterintelligence investigation, which was going to further weaken Trump. But this, if you would have told the truth, if they would have told the truth at this key juncture post-election, then all of that would have been gone, and we wouldn't be destabilizing Trump in his first 2 years or 3 years in office. So this ICA lie by Obama was key in connecting what looks like a campaign operation and now making it into an official government-sanctioned counterintelligence deal in which Trump is being accused of nasty things.
And when you follow that timeline, because we get lost in there, there's early on the CIA or the FBI knew that the whole the whole thing that Hillary Clinton purchased, the dossier, was crap, right? They knew that early on, but that's what they used to build this whole thing, including writing some FISA they wanted some FISA stuff and lied to the FISA court and that sort of thing, right? All right, let's go to break. What I want to find out is if this all does tie together, like Tulsi Gabbard says, is anyone getting in trouble? Because this program is having a hard enough time. You see this going on. Hillary Clinton did this. Comey for a half hour tells everything she did wrong. But we're not going to go after. It's not what we do in America, and that we've seen this time and time again. Epstein, all the rest. We'll talk about it. Who gets in trouble if this is true? We've got him, John O'Connor, our legal Spiegel, right after this.
About it. Now that school's out for the summer, how are Minnesota students doing? Not very well. Minnesota ACT scores fell again last year and are the lowest they've been in 10 years. In fact, fewer than half of Minnesota students can either read or do math at grade level. Think about it. We used to brag about our schools. Now we're losing to states like Mississippi. Visit AmericanExperiment.org for more information. Think About It is brought to you by Center of the American Experiment, Minnesota's think tank.
There are many ways to explore Alexandria. Some like to experience the outdoors and all the fun winter in Minnesota can provide. Pick your favorite way to get in touch with nature. Others like to explore downtown in the warm comfort of a boutique or gathered around a table with friends. You can do all of that or relax and do nothing at all. Come explore Alexandria. Start planning at explorealex.com.
As in alligator. L also in alligator. But it's not alligator. It's the Al Travis Show.
So here we are with John O'Connor, our legal guy, talking about what Tulsi Gabbard came out and said has happened, and evidently proof that the Obama administration knew that the dossier was a bunch of bullpucky and yet still went with it. And this forced a lot of things, including, if I'm not mistaken, Trump and Trump's team were surveilled then. They got wiretaps and the rest for the Trump's team, which is illegal as all get out in America today. Also led to the impeachment of Donald Trump and how many hours and all the different stuff we went through in that. I presume President Obama gets off, right? Didn't the Supreme Court kind of say you can do whatever you want as president? That's why Trump didn't get in trouble. So the president's there. But what about Comey? What are Brennan and Comey? Can they be brought up on anything for this?
I say the three targets are not only Brennan and Comey, but also Hillary Clinton. And they all conspired to make false statements. Al, this is an indictable case as long as the prosecutors feel that they can allege the conspiracy lasted long enough so there's there's an overt act within the last 6 years, which I think is supplied by Brennan's false testimony in May of 2023 on this very subject, in which he lied to Congress. So my bottom line is there is a conspiracy here of falsity and cover-up in material matters within the jurisdiction of several agencies and the legislature. And the only issue in my mind, looking ahead, is this thing is clearly indictable and will be indictable, but will you get a conviction? I would say the chances of a conviction are very low for two reasons. Number one, you're going to have a jury pool either in Northern Virginia, which is possible, or D.C. Probably D.C. is the favored venue because more happened there, but you could indict this in Northern Virginia. But you still have jury pools that don't like you. And then secondly, the mainstream media is going to be the worst enemy of the indictment of this case. They're going to make it look like it's just some sort of retribution by Trump. It's not retribution by Trump. It's called accountability, where somebody really, really did some dastardly things. And we do not expect the heads of our leading intelligence agencies to be abject partisans and pulling political games and lying. And that's really what it is. And Hillary was right there hand in glove with these folks. And again, as you say, they all thought that this would result in her election and these documents would never be found.
See, but I can go with Hillary Clinton. The other team comes up with a brilliant plan. We just got to get the CIA and the FBI to go along. I mean, they had to make this thing work, and they were able to. Hillary Clinton, okay, she wants to pay for a bad dossier. The CIA comes out and says, no, we looked into it. It's crap. She lost her money. The problem I've got with CIA and the FBI is they went along with it. Can you clear out enough people from top down, even if they are going, somebody's got to go to jail, but if they don't, every one of them gets fired, so we can start fresh with people that take that job seriously, or there is no respect for the FBI. Someone's got to go to jail.
I say so too. I just think it's going to be difficult, given our jury system, to convict these folks. Now, it may well be that, surprise, surprise, the jury actually considers the evidence, and it's so clear that there was a lie, that there were a series of lies. And remember, Comey's lying to the FISA court. They're lying in the ICA. Then also there is evidence that Comey deliberately, and it's from a White House memo of Susan Rice, that Comey said that he would not be telling the incoming national security team of Trump the full story on the Russiagate investigation. Trump was left in the dark about what was going on with this Russiagate investigation. And remember, this was not a criminal investigation, it was counterintelligence. Therefore, it's something the president is supposed to know in his role as commander-in-chief. You can isolate him from the criminal process and keep things from him, and that's cool. And that's tradition. But counterintelligence, you let Roosevelt know what the Nazis are doing. And Trump and Comey deliberately, and it was discussed in a White House meeting, deliberately withheld information from the incoming national security team. And then you have him trying to trap Trump in his first 5 months in office before Comey gets fired, and so forth. So this conspiracy continues to go forward. So it's really very, very bad stuff, and a whole variety of lies that start in
Even if you took Trump out of it, so this isn't Trump against the others, this idea that there's all these secret files that weren't listed, that isn't the boss in charge of that? Because nothing good comes. Every file is top secret, most top secret, has somebody in the government that has to check that over, right? That the president can see it, the head of this, the Security Council group, other people have to be able to see it. The idea that we actually have people putting things away that no one else can get to, that's got to be illegal. Can't they just go to jail for, Trump got 34 felonies for putting the wrong $100,000 down to his lawyer and to whatever the gal's name was, Stormy Daniels. There's got to be something if the FBI director does this.
Yeah, it's concealment. And I think Kash Patel himself, the new head of the FBI, would say that he believes these documents were withheld from him, that he was luckily stumbled onto them, and somehow they also stumbled onto this process of what do I want to say? This process of prohibited access, that is to say, hiding documents. So Cash Patel discovered this room, and then he also discovered the separate cache of documents that's electronic documents. So they were fooled.
Give me a gambler's chance. Was it 50-50 that anybody gets in any trouble for all of this? I got 20 seconds.
No, it's 80% that they'll get indicted, 20% that they get convicted.
All right. I appreciate you, sir. I really do. I appreciate you taking the time. I know it's quite early for you to do the program with us. Thank you for getting up for me, my friend.
Right now, good talking to you.
John O'Connor on the Al Travis Show.